Okay, so this is going to be the comparison video between the Rigid, the D series, the dually lights. This is going to be comparing the 60-degree diffused lens with the dually flood. You can see we've got it set up here, just a table with both lights, one on each box, kind of simulating how they might be on a vehicle. We're going to be shining them down at this other garage door out here. We're just out in the shop. The garage door is going to be 40 feet away from our lights. The corner of this office, our inventory room, is 15 feet away. And the corner of our owner's Challenger over there is also going to be 15 feet away. So just to give you a little bit of a comparison, we're going to turn the camera off now and go and flip the lights off. We'll be back to do the comparison shots in just a second. Okay, so we're getting ready to test our diffused and flood rigid LED dualies. You have to give the camera just a second to adjust. When you do turn the floodlights on, the lighting focus does flare up for just a second. So we're going to start off by turning the floodlights on. That is the rigid dually flood. And you can see it's got a really good focus right in the middle of the garage door down there. Very bright light. This will actually reach further than 40 feet, but this is how we get our best comparison, and it's the most room we had to work with today, so that's what we're doing. So we're going to turn this one off and do the diffused. And you can see not nearly as bright far down as the flood was. It doesn't even make the camera screen tend to flare up quite as much, but it is a lot wider. If you look at the door over here where our boxes of Stanodyne are, you can actually see a lot more of that, as well as the Challenger over on the left. You can see a whole lot more of that as well. So we'll turn both of them off again, and we'll turn the flood on. Now we're going to turn the diffused on while the flood is on so you can see the difference in the area that the diffused has. This is the diffused turning on, and right there you can see a much difference in width. Now we're going to do the exact opposite, turn both of them off again. This time we're going to go on first with the diffused, with the camera focus, and now we're going to go on with the flood. So you can see right there again, the flood much farther reaching. The diffuse has a lot wider. The diffuse would be really good for like a floodlight. I think you can see the floor pretty good. If you turn the diffused off and then turn the diffused back on, it really lights up the path right in front of you. So it's a lot better for short, wide range, whereas the flood is a lot better for a reach. So this has been the first comparison video. We're probably going to turn this off and jump right back in with the D2s. All right, so we're coming back in this time, the exact same setup as we just did with the dualies, but this time we are switching over to the D2 series of the LED D series from Rigid. We've got the driving and we've got the wide. That's the two setups we're comparing right now. So we're going to first switch on the, this is the wide light. I'm going to turn the wide light off. Now we're going to turn on the driving. And then we're going to do a comparison. We're going to turn the driving on. And make sure and pay good attention to the floor, the door, and where the Challenger is over here to the left. And turn the wide back on. So we're going to turn both of them off. Now we're going to turn the wide on first. And then we're going to turn the driving on. So as you can see up close, the wide has a wider array of light there. Farther down the road, the driving has a really good reach and width. It's a really good combination. It's real similar to the flood and the dualies. We're going to compare those next. But it's a little bit wider at a farther distance than what the actual dually flood is. But you'll see that comparison in the next video, hopefully. But overall, not a lot of difference in brightness at 40 feet when it comes to the D2s and the dualies. they're pretty comparable. The wide and the diffused the diffused seems to have a little bit better lighting up close. We'll compare that one in just a second as well. But we're going to turn them off and jump on to the next clip. All right, this is our next segment. This is going to be a comparison between the dually flood and the D2 driving. This is the most similar pattern between these two, so we're going to compare them real quick. Okay, what you have there is this is the D2 driving. Again, we'll turn that one off. We'll turn on the dually flood. Now you should be able to notice a difference here. The D2 driving had a little bit wider light. The dually flood does seem to have a little bit brighter focus in the center than what the D2 driving did. But we'll turn them back on and let you make that decision yourself. So we'll turn both of them off. We're going to come back on first with the dually flood. And then we're going to switch on the D2 driving. So you can see the D2 driving really almost has a center line similar to like what a headlight does, right in the center. And it's got a little bit better top to bottom reach. But overall, if you combine these two, it makes for a great light setup. So there's the difference. We'll turn both of them off again, and we'll turn the D2 driving on first. And then we'll turn the dually flood on to let you see that comparison. And we're going to turn these two off, and we're going to come back with our last segment, which is going to be a comparison between the D2 wide and the dually diffused. All right, this is going to be the last comparison video we do in this one, or I'm sorry, last comparison segment. What we're comparing this time is going to be the D2 wide and the dually diffused. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn one on. And that again is the dually diffused. We're going to switch that one off. Now we're going to turn on the D2 wide. Okay, we're going to turn both of them off. We're going to turn back on the diffused, the dually diffused. Then we're going to turn on the D2 wide. So there's the difference in those. You can see the D2 wide is quite a bit brighter down the middle. It's a little bit more like the flood when you compare these two together. We'll turn them both off. We'll turn on the D2 wide. Now pay close attention to the door over here to your right and the Challenger over here to the left on the lift. You can see them all right, but really watch the floor out here in front of you too when we turn on the diffuse this time. So much wider light from the diffused. So overall, what we've learned from this is that if you're wanting a wide light or a lot of light over a wide area, the diffuse is definitely the way to go. If you need wide light further down, the D2 wide is a pretty good option. You know, they also offer a D2 diffused. It's not real popular. Most people tend to go with the wide if they're going with that, or they go with the dually diffused. It's going to be very similar to the dually diffused. There are also a hyper spot D2 and just a regular spot in the dually. If we do a video on those, we'll have to do it in a different location. 40 feet is not adequate enough space to give you a good comparison between those. So this is going to wrap up this comparison video. Make sure and check us out. We're going to do also an E-Series light bar versus an S-Series light bar comparison to give you a little bit of that. And we might try to come back with some spotlight comparisons. As always, make sure if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment field below. Feel free to give us a call, email us, make sure and like us on Facebook, and make sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys.